Hello, how are you doing? Welcome back to the First Gen Money YouTube channel, a place where we talk about navigating life as a first gen. So I want to get back into creating videos where I share my monthly spending, how I'm working and going along my savings goals and how I'm reaching that. But before we talk about the specifics of a month, I thought it would be good to have a video kind of talking about my net worth and looking specifically at what's in my accounts today so that we can look back a year from now, 6 months from now, and I have progress over what I've made, what shifts have happened, and I can see where I grew. So mostly for my own accountability. I knew I had hit 100K net worth before I even hit 6 figures of a salary. And then last week I was checking my personal capital, now Empower, and I was like, wow, my net worth really took a hit. And there are a lot of different reasons for this, right? But it just made me think about how I had going into this year, specific money goals that I wanted to hit, but nothing necessarily around increasing my net worth. And now I'm either way, whatever the money goals I had going into the year, they are going to contribute to my net worth. So why not be more intentional about really looking at this specific number? So why did my net worth go down from 100K to about 80 something K that it is today? A couple of reasons. So the first one that is outside of my control, stock market performance. I mean, it just has been going down. There have been ebbs and flows, but mostly it's been going down since the last time I did a net worth audit. The other 3 factors are things in my control. So number 1, I took a sabbatical at the end of 2021 into the first half of 2022. So those 5 months, 6 months that I was unemployed by choice, I was using my savings that I had allocated for this specific goal to have my sabbatical. But still, I was using up my savings and it was dwindling down. Even though those were allocated just for the sabbatical, it still obviously decreased my net worth. Number 2, our Euro trip. Talked about it a few times already, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna share the money recap of that Euro trip up here so you can go take a listen. But it was an expensive trip. It was an expensive trip, once in a lifetime, of course, but it still cost money. And while we did not go into debt while we were traveling, we were basically allocating every paycheck that was coming in towards our daily expenses in Europe. The third thing was a savings goal that we were saving towards, but still not an investment or something that would have increased my net worth. We wanted to move out, so when we came back, we were saving towards our move out fund. And as you know, when you move out, things are expensive. I recap again everything it cost us to move out in another video, so you can go check that out. But that alone stopped us from saving towards other money goals. I started working again in the middle of 2022. Because of these expenses, it was harder to re-up my savings accounts. I still had the baseline emergency fund, but everything extra was gone. It kind of was the reason that this dip in net worth did happen. There was an equal amount of money coming in and going out. And so that's why today, right now, my net worth does not surpass the yearly salary that I have. And the goal will be for that to be the case. Now, is it December 2023 or is it 1 year as of really doing this net worth audit? I don't know, but I want to just take a look at where I am now so I understand what progress I have made when I do another audit. Just looking at where my net worth is today so I have something to look back at. A year from now, as of today, what's today's date? March 14th. Oh my God, it's my sister's birthday. I have to text her. March 14th, my net worth is at 86K 190. So 86,190. Broken down into the different parts and accounts that I have. I have a ton of accounts, but I'm gonna break it down by investments, savings, and then checking. My Roth IRA, my Vanguard Roth IRA is at 33,000 $33,866. So this Roth IRA is invested in Vanguard and it's full VTSAX, which honestly, I probably should diversify. My Vanguard rollover IRA, so this was a 401k from my previous employer that when I left, I rolled over into an IRA that I put into Vanguard so I can have all my accounts in one place. That is also at $33,573. Not sure how that happened, that they're both the same amount. Then within that same Vanguard account, I also have a brokerage account. And that is comprised of a lot of individual stocks, but the total is $1,040. And that one took a hit. That one took a real big hit. Okay, so I own Apple, Bumble, Disney, JetBlue, Lyft, Peloton, AT&T, and United Airlines. That is my Vanguard. Now looking at my 401k, I have a 401k with my current employer. That is a total of $6,556. That is comprised of the Fidelity 500 index fund and then a target date fund for 2060. So I have like two different investments within that account. If I break down my savings account, my emergency fund has $11,159. And then the other accounts, this is in my savings, my travel fund, all of the random little accounts that I have before I learned about buckets, which Ally just lets you put your savings now in like different categories. So before I had the buckets, I had a ton of different accounts. And so those totals are 298. So 298. And then you'll see that I have, if we're going into my checking account, I have a total of about $526. $525, let's just round down. As of today, my credit card total is $830. The Capital One is the credit card I use every day. So I use that like a checking account and I pay it off in full when the bill is due. The one account that is not on my net worth is my HSA. Because I have not hit $1,000, which is the $1,000 mark is like the mark where you can finally start investing. I haven't been able to add it to my personal capital, but that total as of last night when I pulled it was $962. So once that hits 1,000, which will be that next paycheck, I will be able to invest that money. So now let's talk about how I'm getting to 100K net worth, but ideally 150K net worth. We saw what I have right now. How am I gonna get to that? Before the year started, I already lined up a few automatic contributions. So I use the pay yourself first method. My paycheck accounts for my savings goals before it accounts for my daily spending. And what that allows me to do is to really capture my savings and investment goals first and then feel like I can spend guilt-free. Now, 2023 is gonna be a spending year because we are getting married in 2023 and we know that's gonna cost us, our budget is 20K. We know that's gonna cost us 20K. So that's 20K that we're not allocating towards other goals, right? So that's my 10K that I'm not allocating towards other money goals I have. That's 10K from Ari, who's not allocating the money goals that he has. So knowing this, knowing that we're gonna be spending money end of the year with the wedding, or really throughout the year because you pay up until the wedding day, it's shaping up to, be a year where the pay yourself first method really is about the investments. The growth in my net worth will come from the investment contributions that I make because anything extra will be probably put aside towards the wedding. So number one is that 401k investment. This is the account my employer gives me access to and I can contribute to this money to this account pre-tax. So I do that. And so I never even see the money hit my bank account because it has hit my 401k account first and then it gets taxed and then I get the money. So my goal is to max out this account in 2023. So far, I have been taking the total amounts on a monthly basis to hit that max by the end of the year. The reason why I have done the max per month instead of like trying to max it up front is simply because I know I have other things that I have to pay for, and eventually it would be such a flex to be able to say like, I maxed out my 401k in the first like 5 months of the year. It'll take us 12 months to max that out. And that max is $22,500. So that is $22,500 that would go into maxing out my 401k. Account number 2, Roth IRA. I have been maxing this out for as long as I've been investing. This was the first account I had when I started investing because it was easy. My company didn't get, back then at the company I was at, we didn't have access to a 401k. So my goal is to continue maxing this out at $6,500. The next account is the HSA, which I briefly talked about, but the HSA is a health savings account, and that is really maximized as an investment account when you don't use it the year that you're like contributing to it for health expenses. I have a whole video on health savings accounts that you can watch here, but that max is $3,850 for 2023. Now, the benefit and the perk here is pretty awesome, is that my company contributes $125 per month towards my HSA, which means that my contribution will only be $2,350 because they will have contributed the other $1,500. Looking at all my investments total, we are looking at $32,850. So that's just investments. With that, let's say nothing else happens to that net worth otherwise, I should be at and a little bit over 100K. We know that's not always how it happens because the money is in the stock market and it could just continue to go down. But moving alongside to the savings goals. Savings goals, number 1, debt-free wedding. Debt-free wedding. We are obviously gonna we are obviously gonna have a debt-free wedding, but I guess it's not a savings goal because we haven't saved for it and we're not gonna save for it. We're just gonna like get the money and pay for it, but we'll just put it on here. So debt-free wedding. This is a combined total of 20K. My half is 10K. So that is savings goal number 1, priority number 1. Number 2 is a 12-month emergency fund. So I work in tech. Just last week, we had SVB crash and really fail as a bank and close, and it was freaking everybody out in the tech industry, and myself included. So I am very paranoid and I have a lot of trust issues. So we are going to make sure that I am protected, my emergency fund is beefed up, and I feel good about that. So a 12-month emergency fund for me is a total of $21,000. $21,590, but 21K. I just walked through what I have right now. I have 11,000 and change. So if my goal is 21K and I have 11,000 in that account, I have 10K more to go to save for this 12-month emergency fund. And that is more attainable for me than saying like, I'm gonna save 20K for an extra emergency fund, but also a down payment. So I wanna be very just specific about the 2 things that I am saving for this year. And that is the wedding and the 12-month emergency fund. That is the plan, but we know that things happen. And so in order to reach those goals, I have to be really looking closely at my spending and like making sure that everything feels right so that I'm not just contributing most of my paycheck to my savings accounts and then find myself taking from my savings account to pay for my bills at the end of the month. So what I'm gonna do to hold myself accountable is just to do that monthly check-in on YouTube and share how I'm spending, share how I'm saving this month. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to start building this net worth again. I feel good about it. I know it can be a little sad to see that number be like at 100K at some point and then drop down to 80. That is life. And life is about ups and downs and valleys, and what is the opposite of valleys? I don't know. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you next week.